Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, coming to you live on this beautiful, sunny, Saturday morning. It is February 22nd of 2025, where we have come off all-star breaks of the NBA and also the NHL, and we'll be discussing that. Um, Also, finding out the sad news about Victor Wembanyama being out for the season. We'll get into that as well. MLB spring training is here, and as White Sox fans, yeah, I'm not looking really too forward to that. NFL in the off season, moves are being made or strategically getting planned, and as we getting pretty close to the combine, which happens next week, and then before we know it, the NFL draft will be here in a couple months. Where my co-host on today's show was at the last NFL draft, where I think where he officially stamped his Detroit fandom at. But nevertheless, Ian, man, how you doing this morning, bro?
Pretty good, pretty good. I can't complain.
Man, I feel you on that one, man. I know before the show you pretty much told me you've been off for the whole week. You've been seem like you've been enjoying yourself, but you're dreading the upcoming Monday.
Yeah. Had a little vacation off during my birthday, so yeah, it's almost time to go back.
I feel you on that, man. All right, so we're gonna get into it, and if I'm not mistaken, your birthday, which was Valentine's Day, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Formal once again, happy birthday on that, and
Thank you, appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. But also with your birthday came NBA All Star Weekend. So yeah, I have it labeled as NBA All Star Weekend blunder. Um, and I put it like that because I don't think it really did too well. But what are your thoughts going into it? I know last week me and Jake talked about pretty much we wasn't really enthused going into it, but since it occurred already, what are your thoughts about the weekend?
I think it was okay. Do I think it's the same as the early 2000s or maybe even the 2010s? I would say the early 2000s. Um, no, it's not like how it was when we was growing up, but it was. I would say that Saturday, from the highlights that I seen, it seemed pretty good, or it seemed okay. The actual games that Sunday was mm, very mid, I should say. It was more effort shown a little bit Sunday, but than last year for sure, because last year scored like 200 points. But no, I mean it's just not the same. I think I don't know if I think it was matter of fact it was Ocho Cinco. I think he put it in perspective for me. I think those guys look at it as that weekend is like a vacation. Like I've been on, it's like a vacation for them. So I guess they feel like why should I play hard or play as hard as I do in the real game or on my vacation. I'm an all-star. I deserve to be here. And this is quote unquote my vacation time, you know. And I get it, but I wouldn't say we're looking for like game seven energy or NBA Finals energy or anything like that. But you know, it could be just a little better. I don't know. But to me personally, I don't really think it's going to change. I still think it's going to change.
So my boy Jake said, I'm trying to figure out how this man do the same dunks and keep winning his damn contest. I mean, look, I'm gonna get into that comment in a second. It's definitely like you mentioned, it's definitely not the same when we was growing up. It's
No.
not. Um, and I think that could be for a few reasons. One, I don't think back then these players wasn't getting paid as much as they are now. I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons. Um, they I feel like they treating the NBA more so like a bank these days as more so as a partnership back then.
Yeah.
Um, Two, I mean, with the money or with the quote unquote, I guess, lack of money back then, guys, it was more so it was playing for like pride and effort was there. It wasn't about the money, for more so about the love of the game. You wanted to
Yeah.
go out there and prove that you was the best of the best. You got the competition. Of course, they did some flashy stuff back then, but they play hard. Um, what was it, the 2001 NBA All Star game where the East came back down for like 20, made it a
Yeah.
really good game, fun, competitive, going back and forth in the last 3 minutes of that game. That was,
Yeah. Undersized East team too compared to that West team.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're right. And it just, I don't know. It was just something, about the competitive spirit of the All Star game that drew my attention to it. I looked forward to watching it because these guys were the best of the best, and they go out there and give it. They going I ain't gonna say they're gonna give it 100% their all, but they gonna play hard.
Yeah.
And you know, a couple these media personalities were saying ever since Kobe retired, it has not been the same. It really like went way downhill. What are your thoughts to that?
Um, a little bit, yeah. But you know what? The one All Star game that was actually competitive, and God rest his soul, was the one in Chicago, the one right after Kobe died. When they started playing up to like a certain number,
Hmm.
and it gave that atmosphere. Everybody was like literally everybody in the United Center was standing up around the court, and they was into it. Like I think that was the last time we seen like real competitiveness. The dunk contest was great with Derrick Jones Jr. and I think it was Aaron Gordon, I believe. That dunk
Mhm.
contest was great. That All Star weekend, which is crazy. The last one in Chicago was probably the best one in 2020, and then we hit COVID. But that was probably the last like great All Star weekend. All the other ones just been, kind of just
Man,
blah.
yeah. And what's wild is like I've been like for the longest time, I've been waiting for the All Star Weekend to come back to Chicago. Like been waiting for it,
Yeah,
and like you said, yeah,
it was
I,
cold as shit that weekend.
it was, but yeah, I do remember that one was a solid one for sure. Out the last, I don't know,
Yeah, and
decade.
I was shocked. I was really shocked. But I was like, man, All Star weekend. Because even in a couple prior years to that, before Kobe, I think Kobe retired what 2016? Yeah, 2016. After that, it was just like, it was a hit and miss here or there. But 2020, they really, I mean, probably because of his passing, which it hadn't really been, only been like 2 weeks since Kobe had passed. So I mean that
Oh yeah,
that weekend it was good, especially because it was in Chicago. So, but other than that, I mean, all the other ones just been kind of just like been kind of blah.
yeah. My boy Jay said it's because of Ian's mentor Queen Jane changing the format to playing playground ball. That's what he's saying. The reason why it was good or bad or whatever. Oh man. But here's the thing: when you have current players like Draymond Green, who was doing on TNT, giving insight of the whole weekend and pretty much calling it trash, giving it a 0 out of 1 to 10, and basically saying like these younger guys don't deserve to be out here, and
Yeah,
just like dog walking the whole format. When you got that, it's a problem. When you have, you know, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama trying to find loopholes in the skills competition and getting disqualified for it, when the 3-point contest has been the highlight of All-Star Weekend for the last I don't know how long. Um,
Yeah,
when you have Mac McClung, who's a 3-time back-to-back-to-back three-peat champion in the dunk contest, who is not even in the NBA, that's a problem. They said he has more dunk contest victories than actual dunks in the NBA.
that's crazy.
That is. And of course, every time that he wins or just somebody that's irrelevant wins, you have these stars go on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days, saying, it makes me want to go be in the contest next year. Or if you join, I join. We all in this together? And no, darn well they ain't gonna go out there and do it next year.
Yeah.
They just gassing it up for everybody else. So
I mean,
all
with
right.
the dunk contest though, I feel as though I do feel like Matt McClung is I do feel like he's a special dunker, and he's a dunk contest dunker. I feel like a lot of guys are just in-game dunkers, and um I feel like a lot of times that's why they kind of shy away from it. They're not really creative dunkers. Like a guy like Zach LaVine is an in-game man, kind of like a
He could do both.
dunk contest dunk or Aaron Gordon. But I feel like a lot of guys aren't that creative. So, like for instance, like the LeBron argument. As a fan, yeah, I would have loved to see him in a dunk contest. Um, am I disappointed? Yeah and no, because I feel like he's not a dunk contest dunker. It's almost like you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. If he died in a dunk contest, it probably would have just been like a couple of bland dunks. He just getting hired at some shit that you see him doing in the game. So then it would have been like, he got in the dunk contest, he didn't even do anything. But then, he don't do it, and it's like, he should have been dunk contest. He's the only superstar
Yeah.
that haven't did it. So it's kind of like, well,
So
Kobe Bryant did it, but like Kobe Bryant wasn't a superstar when he got in the dunk contest. He was
so
like 19, bro.
so let me ask you this then. Like, because like you said, since he didn't do it, I feel like we are living the fact that he didn't do it, and now
Yeah.
this is what we're getting. You mentioned like Kobe wasn't a superstar then. Like, what if LeBron would have just did it in the first couple of years? I mean, he wasn't the face of the league then, and
Yeah,
maybe
so from that aspect, I do agree with that. But I feel like the real reason he won't do it or he didn't do it is he's not a creative dunker. He's not at all. Is he a powerful dunker? He's a great in-game dunker. Yeah, for sure. But dunk contest dunk, just go look at the high school dunk contest. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything special. He just jumped high, and it was just like. And I think on the NBA level, I think you have to have some type of creativity, like a guy like Nate Robinson, and then it's the opposite with Nate Robinson, because I mean Nate Robinson, he didn't even really dunk in a real game. I mean in college he did, but like in the NBA he would really dunk. Being him that he's a
true.
smaller guy, um, but I mean it has. I mean, he's not the only superstar that haven't, done it. But it's like even with a guy like Vince Carter. Vince Carter only did it that one time, and that was it. Um,
Hey,
I feel like T Mac. No, did T
he was
Mac
in it.
do it another time? Yeah, he did it that one year that Vince Carter was in it. I don't know. It just, me personally, I don't know why they. That's just my opinion. Me personally, I don't know why they, don't want to do it, but I guess they feel like they don't really gain too much from it. But mm,
So I'm gonna just share my opinion on it because regardless, it's just the fact that like if you're LeBron, like you've been the face of the league for at least that last what 15 years now, or
Yeah.
10 to 15, at least somewhere in
Uh-huh.
that ballpark. And like, yeah, probably within that 10 to 15 window, probably a little bit too old for the dunk contest. But just prior to that, it's like at least do it one time,
Yeah.
just do it once, and maybe that would inspire others that came after you with higher prestige in the league to to do it instead of we getting these guys are not even all stars out here dunking. And it's not saying that they can't do it because, like you said, Mac McClung, like we've been watching highlights of Mac McClung doing dunks since high school.
Yeah.
Like we've known about Mac McClung for years before he got to
Yeah.
the league. We've known about him. Not saying that he can't do it, but he's just not the name. He's just not going to bring the viewership.
Hmm.
Like LeBron, knowing that he was going to be a face of the league one day, it's like just I feel
He should have
like
did it.
unwritten responsibility type deal.
In my opinion, like you said, he should have did it like his rookie year, his rookie or like his rookie or second year.
Yeah, just get it out the way. Just do it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I don't know how the process goes. I don't know if they get asked or I don't know. I don't know how the process goes, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe he's been asked before, maybe not. I don't know. But I would love to see it. I mean, I would like to see a guy like John Morant or
Yeah, I would love to
I don't.
see. I would love to see Zion out there. I don't want him to get hurt while
Yeah,
doing it, but I mean, he would
right.
be great for the dunk contest, like
Yeah,
by
a guy
far.
like Zion or something like that. But then, I mean, we gotta look at it now. Like guys don't even be excited to dunk no more. Like when we were growing up, um, that was a thing. To see a guy dunk or the dunk was what the 3-point ball is now. So now we've gotten
Yes,
away from the dunk. So it's kind of like they, like we say, the most exciting thing now is the 3-point contest. We rather see guys shoot threes, and so I think that has a part to play in it as well. Um, yeah, but I would like to see more superstars do it. But I mean, I don't know how the process goes, how they go about picking. Um,
I don't. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm assuming that they start with certain individuals to get an invite, and then they go from there, like
yeah.
based on the. I'm just assuming. I don't know.
And I feel like I don't know, I feel like they pick. I don't know. It's almost like it's an age limit to it in a sense. I almost feel like they don't go past a certain age limit or whatever. I don't know what's up with
Un,
that, but
unless maybe, but also maybe if they do have an age limit, maybe if like one of the bigger names, like say like Levine or Gordon, since they're pretty much pushing 30 at this point, like, hey,
yeah.
I'll do it, and they're like, okay, that make an exception, like type deal. Maybe they
Hmm.
volunteer. I don't know, but regardless, like the weekend itself, just it's dude, it's getting to the point to where I feel like we almost where the Pro Bowl is with the NFL. It's like
Yeah.
y'all just want to cancel this thing altogether, like because it's dude, it's almost like a mockery, almost.
Yeah. Now they're talking about doing with the 101.
Now, now you
I'm
know
not gonna
darn
lie.
well
I would kind of be intrigued to see some of those guys go 101.
I I would too, but I feel like a lot of them gonna have an ego problem and may not even want to participate, knowing darn well if they get embarrassed out there, they get blanked like Stewie got blanked in that 101.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's like,
But
you
that's
know,
that but that's probably the thing with the dunk contest as well. Ego thing. So I don't know. It's tough, but it ain't. As the women would say these days, it's not giving.
I mean, it surely is not. So, all right. So I'll put it to you like this: the NHL and the Four Nations, like that whole thing,
Hmm.
and I kid you not, like we don't really watch hockey,
Yeah.
but I would say that had generated a lot more excitement than the NBA this past week, and to the point to where when Canada played USA the other day, that was the most televised game, NHL game on ESPN they ever had. That and it, well, I think it was
Mm,
like one of the most bet sports betting events ever.
that's crazy.
So if you're the NBA, like say if Ian Jones, aka Peoples Hernandez, aka Rod Tidwell, I mean aka Detroit Lions fan, if if you was the commissioner of the NBA, how do you fix this?
Mm. You know what? I think I heard Chuck make a comment about this. Maybe you put the American players against the European players, or all the foreign players, and um, make that a thing. Because like they say, the European players they're gonna come to play, and it's gonna force the players from here to kind of stand their ground or hold their ground. So I think that could be a thing. Maybe like I kind of feel like they did this at one point though, but maybe they did it like with the rookies and the sophomores, like the world team versus the. I feel like
Yeah,
they did this like a couple years back,
I
or
think
some
so.
years. Yeah, so maybe do that like on that Sunday night for the big game. Um, I mean that would really only be my only thing, or maybe the 1-on-one thing. I think it'll take one of the superstars. Like I know Kyrie said he'll be one of the guys
Oh, yeah, he's built
to
for
get
that.
in there for sure. Yeah, right. Or somebody like Kevin Durant or somebody like that. Um, I would love to see that. Um, I mean, but other than that, I mean, I don't think the dunk contest was that bad this year. From the highlights that I seen, I don't think it was that bad. I just think guys just want to see because the dunks were creative. They were actually good dunks. I just think guys want to see those superstars or these guys' jerseys that were buying, being a dunk contest. Um, yeah, I mean that would be my only thing. I mean I don't know what else more you could do. I mean I wasn't too mad at the All-Star game like the way they had it set up last this past Sunday. The only thing is I kind of did agree with Draymond Green. What Draymond Green said, going to 40 points. Um, like the team lose and then that team doesn't play anymore. Like we didn't like Wimby was playing, playing with some effort.
Yeah.
Then we didn't get to see Wimby no more because they lost. So it's like kind of not fair. And then with the young guys, but the young guys did make those older guys play,
Oh
a
yeah.
little better because
That was a tight game in that second game. It was a
yeah,
little tight.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's putting a little pressure on them. So I did like that part of it, but it's like did they really deserve to be there? Maybe, maybe not. But it was also kind of cool to see, like, maybe, seeing those guys play, you might learn about, some guys you've never seen play. Like, oh, he may be the next superstar. He may be coming up. So that was kind of cool. But I think, uh, I think the foreigners versus the American players, I think that would be the next step and maybe the one-on-one thing. But my only thing with the one-on-one tournament thing is, how would they? How would they go? So how many rounds? How many players are gonna play? What they going up to, and how that whole thing? Like how would that go? Because they only got so much time. And then with that, I don't know. Does that cancel out the dunk contest and all that? I don't know.
So so I mean, once upon a time they did used to play 1-on-1 in the All-Star game. They did.
Mm,
And I think it was like in between. It might have been doing like halftime or something like that because I do remember they showed clips of like not saying it was a good game, but they played. It was like Kareem against Dr. J or something like that. They
mm.
they
Okay, I didn't know
actually
that.
did it. So I mean, but once again, back then, no egos. They just came out to play. They just did their thing. But I mean, if they did do the one-on-one thing, I would like it more so on a, I guess, a Saturday or Friday deal. I don't want it. I wouldn't necessarily say it should replace the game itself. Um, you have to, in all honesty, you have to find a way to make these guys play harder. It's an effort thing, in all honesty, for me. Like you can put it in different formats. You can, put sprinkles on it. But if the if the ingredients is not, you ain't got the right quality ingredients, then it's not gonna work. So
Yeah.
therefore, if you got to find a way to incentivize these guys to play hard. Now,
Yeah.
I would think that some of them would just play hard naturally because they love the game and want to compete.
Hmm.
Cool. But the older guys that maybe don't even want to be there, or
Maybe, yeah, maybe they look at it like a vacation
yeah, and maybe they rather would be,
on
in
vacation.
Cancun as opposed to, you know, in the Bay Area. I mean, something has to give. It's an effort thing when it's all said and done. And also, on the last thing I'll say on the side note, I would like for them to, either I miss with the days when they actually wore their jerseys out there.
I was just about
I
to say that before you said that.
I miss those days.
Yeah. Just had a little all-star pass. Yeah. I was just about to say that. Like maybe 1 year, just 1 year, they could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
that was
was
dope to
just
me.
about to say that. Yeah.
So,
One team with a white jersey, one team with a dark jersey.
yep, I'm with all that. So, all right. So, I would say almost a perfect segue because you kind of mentioned his name, but yeah, Victor Wimby,
Yeah.
out for the season. What did it take? A blood clot in his shoulder, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Pretty much similar situation to Chris Bosh,
Mm.
um, which prevented him from playing in the NBA again. Like, what are your thoughts when you heard this news? What are your thoughts in general? Like, this is like, wow.
My initial react, my initial reaction. I hope he get better and all that. But my initial reaction was, I know it's an NBA player somewhere saying, see, he was doing all that playing hard in the All-Star game, and look, now he hurt for the season.
Bruh. Too soon.
But nah, I mean for the NBA and for the Spurs, that's a ain't a good look. They just got De'Aaron Fox and they still got Chris Paul over there. He's number two in steals now of all time.
Jeez.
Uh, Man, bro, it just bad timing, man. It's bad timing. He's quote unquote probably gonna be the new face of the NBA, maybe one of the potentials.
Oh,
It's
by
just
far.
I don't know, it's just bad timing, man. Hope he gets well and comes back from the injury, but that's pretty tough, man. Not a common injury either.
Dude, it's not, man. That was like deflating. Like,
Yeah.
so while you've been, chilling on vacation away from work, I've been definitely going through some things at work. So I briefly saw the notification, but it didn't really click in my head until
Yeah.
after hours later when I actually sat down and looked like for real, like, wait, what? He's out for the season?
Right.
Blood clot? I'm like, blood clot? Like, what? And then they start talking about it. I'm like, oh, I'm like, wow. That's so deflating. They just made the trade for De'Aaron Fox and they was like putting some things together. Castle was, getting some more tick and Chris Paul still being there, mentoring and leading the ship, and Wemby was about to getting ready to take off. I mean, he just came from his first All-Star appearance, and like you said, like I strongly believe he's going to end up being maybe the face of the league in a few years. I mean, he already got the nickname for him, Alien. I mean, he is the alien. Like this man
Hmm.
is doing things that I can't even. That I probably used to make creative players back in Live '98 his tall and just doing things like that, and didn't think that could
Yeah.
happen for real.
Yep.
Making them
That is Zach.
7'5",
That is
everything
Zach Gear.
99.
That is Zach Gear.
Yes, that was my game. But man, I was when you wasn't on that time, but matter of fact, you was in the comments that day when me and Tiana was doing the NBA trade deadline special,
Hmm.
and I told her like I was getting ready to place a future bet on the Spurs making the playoffs because I felt like
Mm.
they was getting ready to.
Yeah, man. And they just got De'Aaron Fox. That's crazy.
Because I'm
Cause
like
that
I
that
like
that
it.
trade hadn't even happened yet, right? Or
No, it did. It
maybe it
happened
happened like
like
right after
right after the
that episode y'all had.
no, it happened before the episode, but it happened right after the that Luca trade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it happened after the Luka trade. Yeah.
Yeah, so it probably happened like maybe a day or two before we did the thing, but it was like I was just liking the momentum. They was gonna be hungry. That's a hungry team. They want to start winning. And
Yeah.
I know Chris Paul usually, you know, gives like just good positive energy to teams like that. They just usually turn up. But yeah, his news is deflating. So I mean they're sitting 12th in the West right now. I don't
Yeah.
I don't see it happening unless De'Aaron Fox and Castle and
Chris Paul just
yeah, and they just take off, and the younger guys start get going, and Harrison Barnes start looking like the former NBA champion. Of his, I don't know, I don't see it right now,
yeah.
but I guess we can pivot over just really quick. Last week the NBA, just the standings and stuff. Like I'll go through it briefly. Just any thoughts here, but in the Eastern Conference, you got Cleveland one. They got a 6 game lead over Boston, who's second. Knicks are third, and then after that, you got a nice little gap. And then fourth is the Pacers, followed by the Bucks, who are pretty much a half game behind the Pacers right there. Detroit is six, who's pretty much between the Pacers and the Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons. They're pretty much within 2 games of each other.
Mm.
And then 7 seed, you got Orlando, then Miami at 8, Atlanta at 9, our sorry Bulls at 10
10.
somehow. Uh, and then outside of that, it rounds up with Philly and Brooklyn, who's a half game behind the Bulls, and then
Wow.
Toronto, Charlotte, and Washington in the cellar. Any thoughts on the Eastern Conference before we go to the West?
Shout out to Detroit, man. It's finally coming together after all these years. It's finally coming together, bro. Cade Cunningham coming off his first All-Star game. So shout out to Detroit. Um,
Detroit basketball.
uh, Philly, man, that is disappointing, bro. Philly, that is disappointing, bro. That's, I think
Woo!
they need to. I think they need to get rid of Embiid. I think the process hasn't been trusted, and I think they missed their window. I think it's over. Um,
Hey man, they should never picked Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler.
yeah, I think I'm excited to see what Milwaukee does. Seem like they're kind of gelling a little better. Excited to see what they're gonna do in the postseason and later on the season. Um, but yeah, I mean it's a like you said. I know it's a big gap from one, two, three, and all the way to four. It's a big gap. Not like the West. The West is a lot closer, but that's a big gap.
No, it is like the top three are definitely the top three in the East.
Yep.
I mean, you might catch somebody slipping, but maybe not really. And then really quick before we get to the West, yeah, Philly. My gosh, I mean,
That's as disappointing as it's gonna get.
dude, it is. I mean, you mentioned Embiid, but heck, what about Paul George? That was probably one of the worst signings in NBA
Yeah, man.
history.
Yeah, man. I don't know if he's not focused or I
Dude,
don't know.
they said that man uploaded more clips to his podcast than field goals made in the season so far.
You know what? Maybe he has had some like major injuries, like I think people forget. Then his bone came through his leg and all that. Like Yeah, I mean, maybe his body is taking a toll. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's starting to be that time, man.
I mean, maybe. I mean, that could be a possibility. Or maybe he just suck right now. Maybe he's just trash. Maybe his focus ain't there. Maybe he's just too busy.
Uh,
You know,
Locked in on a pod.
yeah, with Jackie Long. Maybe that's what it is, man.
They got a pretty decent podcast too. I
They
watched a couple times.
they do. I have as well. But maybe he
Got to
missed
keep the
being back
main.
in LA.
Got to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, like this man went across the country to Philly. You're supposed to be in the missing piece to really get this team. Your team should have been in the top 3 here. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
For the longest, it was Boston, Philly, and then who was the third team? We had a third team up there. The Bucks. It was usually those 3 at the top. Now Boston's still there, but then New York has come in the last couple of years, and then Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland has taken a step, and you haven't, Philly. Like what?
And it don't help that Embiid is hurt.
So this man had it's crazy how almost a calendar year goes by and the perception of Embiid has changed. Like we was like applauding this man for the effort he was putting in the playoffs last year in that first round where he was giving it his all.
Yeah.
They was making it a series with a limped Embiid out there. They almost took care of business. This man went to the Olympics, probably shouldn't even play in the Olympics, but he went anyway. And then it went all downhill from there.
Yep. Got the gold medal, but
what expense?
yeah.
But all right, Western Conference. This is what we've been waiting on. This the juggernaut right here. So, all right, OKC is number 1. Head and shoulders, 8.5 game gap between the next 2 teams, which is Memphis and Denver. They're both tied at 37 and 19, and just going back to OKC, they're 45 and 10. And then you got Houston, that's 2 games behind them at the 4th spot, 35 and 21. The Lakers are a game behind at 33 and 21 at the 5th spot. The Clippers are 6, 31 and 24. So that's your top 6. And then right behind there, two teams that are tied and only a game behind the Clippers, the Timberwolves and the Mavericks, 31 and 26. So that's your 7 to 8 spots. And then you have Golden State at 9, 29 and 27, who just beat the mess out the Kings last night, who is 10 right now. And they're 28 and 28. They're a 500 team, and they're 10th place in the West. And then after that, you got Phoenix with Kevin Durant and them. That's 11, 29 and 26. I mentioned the Spurs earlier. They're 12th in the West. Portland's 13th. And then at the bottom of the cellar, you got Utah and New Orleans a half game from each other at the bottom. So what are your thoughts?
Man, shout out to Houston. Man, shout out to Udoka, man. That just goes to show you that man can coach. He can actually coach. They got some real young talent over there. And shout out to Houston. Lakers still staying afloat. Man, poor Dallas because they just got AD and they just AD and man. And you know what's crazy? Like he haven't even really these last kind of like 2 seasons. He maybe been hurt here and there with the Lakers, but he hasn't like really had no like missed no major time with the Lakers these last 2 years.
He's been fairly healthy.
As soon as he get over there, he have a monster game, come out on charge, and I was like,
that's what happened. That man went too hard and hurt himself.
Yeah, bro. I was like, man, bro.
He was vicious too.
I think this is probably the year that Shea probably gets his MVP. I feel like I feel like he should have got it last year, but I feel like this might be the year he gets MVP. Um, I think Denver plays LA tomorrow.
I'll check that real quick.
Tomorrow night, I think.
Let's see.
I know they play the Lakers real soon. Yeah, oh, maybe tonight, maybe.
Yes, that is tonight.
Yeah, they
ABC.
play tonight. Yeah, they play tonight. Yeah, they play tonight. See
And
if
I
the
feel
Lakers
like
can get up the hump, but probably not. I don't think
mm,
Luka's playing though.
and I don't think they can beat them in general.
Yeah, I don't think they can either. They just got their number. But yeah, man, the West has always been tough. Um, I just wonder what Phoenix is gonna do. I think we watching the last of the Warriors. See if they gonna sneak in the playoffs and kind of make some noise. Minnesota had a major drop off, man. Major drop off.
I mean, if we think about it, they like got rid of the thing that made them unique.
Yeah, the big what Shaq call him now? The big bodega. That's his new name in New York. Oh man. But yeah. Um yeah, the West is always well for the last shit, last 10 yeah, last 10 plus years been pretty competitive. Really, to be honest, shit, really more competitive than the East. I mean, was 10 years ago, what's this 2025, it was 2015. 10 years ago, it was what, the Warriors and the Cavaliers. So it was just literally LeBron East, and
Yeah,
well, that was the start of the Warriors.
that
Started their
was.
run. Started their run. So, um, been pretty competitive. West always been competitive. But I mean, as far as the NBA in general is pretty much wide open. I mean, of course, Boston, probably be the favorite. But I mean, there's no guarantees, man. It's pretty wide open.
I mean, so I'm I'm with you to a certain degree. I do I feel like it's wide open, but I feel like it's wide open in a closed circle within maybe about
Those,
5 teams or so.
those top teams from maybe from both conferences.
Yeah, so it's like I do feel like Boston is the favorite still. I can care less what their record is. I just know when we saw that team play last year in the playoffs with Porzingis,
Yeah,
there
healthy.
was
Yeah,
nothing that anyone could do.
yeah, healthy.
Yeah, like dude, and the
Yeah,
way
that was a
that
problem.
the way that Derek White has been playing for that team, the way that Pritchard's been playing for that team, I'm like, these guys out here just dropping threes like they Steph Curry out here sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to see them in the playoffs at all. And I it's like I want to be a believer in Cleveland. I want to be in Believeland.
Yeah, they got to prove it though. They got to prove it
they
when it matter.
do,
They got to prove
and I can't trust Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs. Like
it.
when it really matters most. Like yeah, you have given like I remember back in the day when him and Murray gave a outstanding first round series against each other when they were just dropping 40s and 50 bombs against each other. I remember
Yeah,
that.
in the bubble. Yeah, in the
They
bubble.
was yes yep, you were right in the bubble, but like that man has never been to a. I don't think he's been to a conference finals. I don't think Utah been to a Western Conference Finals.
Nah, not even
They was
close.
there was a number one seed a couple times and then didn't get there.
Yeah,
Um, I mean they almost got put out by Orlando last year, and we was looking at Orlando like, and I still
with
looking at them
Paolo.
like, yeah, and that's I feel like if they're healthy, I don't know. That's a team that some of those bigger teams I want to see really in the playoffs. They gonna give them.
No,
They
not in
gonna
the
give.
East. No, don't give him a run. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, I'm not a. I want to believe in them. I have reservations. I can't. And then the New York Knicks. I mean, they're in the same category as the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like I believe it when I see it. Type deal.
Uh, the energy
Uh,
gonna be there from the stadium and
oh
from
yeah.
New York, but they just got to prove it.
When it matters most, I know.
Tibbs got to prove it.
Yeah. I think the pressure is more so on him than anybody in that organization.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it's just a typical Tibbs team. Got the.
You,
I don't think he's ever had a big. I don't know. Well, he ain't never had no. Besides, I mean, but he wasn't the head coach in Boston. But he never had no big man like the big bodega, like Cat.
Big
uh,
Purr,
yeah, he ain't never had no.
the
He
big
ain't never had no big
meow.
man like yeah. So I don't know. He definitely got to prove it, man. I looked at his head the other day. I say, hey, bro, let it go. Just let it go, bro.
He's trying to hold on to the. He got
Yeah, when
the.
they played, I was watching when they played the Bulls. What was that Thursday night? It was Thursday night. I'm like, bro, let it go, bro. Just let it go.
He got the Homer Simpson like two hairs like across the top.
Man, bro, I'll be like, bro. I said, I never want to be that guy, bro. Just let it go, bro. You won't see it. Just let it go. It's okay, bro. It's okay.
Oh
But
man.
but yeah, man. They just he just got to prove it, man. I would love to see Tibbs, even if he don't. I would love to see Tibbs go to the finals, but got to prove it, and he got the team to do it, man. He definitely got the team to do it. They they got the team to
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, when we was talking about the Knicks in the off season to when they acquired uh,
Mikael
Michael
Bridges,
Bridges and they
yeah,
brought back OG Anunoby, we pretty much said they got the probably the best or one of the best for sure, like perimeter defenders duos out there to counter Boston. I think that was the move for Boston per se.
yep, yep. Just watch them D up Vooch for the game winning shot Thursday night.
It's Vooch.
And it was so crazy. I thought it was from afar. Thought it was Cat. I'm like, oh shit, Vooch. Then I'm like, then they showed the replay. I'm like, bro, that's Mikael Bridges, bro. I don't even think Cat was on the floor. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, man, come on, bro. He right under the basket. I'm
Oh man.
like, come on, bro.
Oh man. I mean,
I told my mom, I'm like, the bad news Bears, bad news Bulls, bad news White Sox. I said, we just bad all the way around, bro.
we are, man.
But they
We are.
definitely got the team. They definitely got the team in the depth to do it. I know he just gotta get it done, man. I don't know what it's gonna take. He just gotta get it done.
Yeah, time is ticking, and you in New York, you know they normally not patient in New York, so some got to give.
Yeah,
So I mean, between those three, and then in the West, like I'm more of a believer than not a believer in Oklahoma City Thunder this year.
yeah.
I think they have the tools and the heartache, and from the past to get it done this year. If everything works out right. But Denver is the other team. Like I can care less how like underperforming they have been at times in this regular season. I mean, but they're tied for second in the West right now.
They know
That's
what
a
it takes.
team. Yeah, that's a team right there that I would not be surprised they back in the NBA Finals. And look, like I know the shiny new toy is Luca and the Lakers, Luca and LeBron combo,
Yeah, but
but
not with that defense.
not at all. And I feel like you're severely undersized and don't have any rim protection or interior defense or anything. So like it's bad enough that the Joker was doing what he wanted to do against AD, and AD is a premier defender. So
Premier.
so what is he gonna do against Jackson Hayes and Rui Hachimura and, and LeBron down there?
The same thing.
They gonna have their way. So
They're gonna be a first, second round at the most. If if they even make it. They should make it, but
they
unless
should.
something miraculous happen or some I don't know. They second round at the most.
Yeah,
But if they meet if they beat if they gotta play Denver that first round, you get called it one.
just like last year. Goodbye.
And
Nothing you
what's
can do.
crazy is that what's crazy is if they somehow cannot play Denver, they could easily be in the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying they could go to the finals. They could easily go to the Western Conference Finals, but they gonna meet Denver and they gonna lose.
Yep, this is exactly what would happen. So my thing is, so I'm a believer in OKC and Denver.
Yeah,
I'm not sold on Memphis.
no,
I'm more sold on Houston than Memphis. I am just coaching
coaching,
alone,
coaching.
alone, and those are young, hungry players that's probably uh oblivious. That's probably don't even like they
Playing with
probably
house money.
yes, exactly, exactly. Just like the Commanders was this past postseason. They're playing with house money, and so I think Houston can probably give LA a run for their money in the first round, but I still think LA probably could pull that off. I think LA would smack Memphis. Um, if the Lakers and Clippers play, I think that would be a little interesting.
Yeah,
That would be very interesting. If the Lakers play the Timberwolves, I think the Lakers probably win because it's not even against Ant
yeah,
Man. It's
yeah,
Julius Randle for me. Get him off.
yeah. If they
I'm
still
sick
had
of it.
Cat, then I would take. I mean Minnesota, but
Yes,
with Julius Randle, I'm not a believer.
not at all. But but
He should get Kobe Bryant.
I do.
Kill him, bro.
I feel like Ant Man would probably smack that man in the back of the head. I can see that happen. Uh, no, but the real wild card in all this is Dallas whenever AD comes back because
Yeah, because I mean,
that's the team
yeah,
that could possibly
with Clay, man,
get there. And Kyrie,
yeah,
that's the team that could possibly get there with a healthy AD. They
yep.
can get to the mountaintop. So
It just helped with all three of them, especially Kyrie and AD. That's they long, they big, still got lively down. Man,
yeah, he
it
ain't got to play the
just
five,
right.
and
And
they
you don't
still
got to
got
play the five
Gafford.
no more. Yep. It just sucked, man. He just went and got hurt, bro. I'm like, oh my god.
Hey, but that
Like you,
means the rest of them can get in the rhythm and stuff, play, develop. The younger guys can get developed more like Lively and stuff. You still got Dwight Powell off the bench, so you got three bigs right there. Whenever AD comes back, you got a nice amount of bigs, and
yep.
Max Christie. I think he's been hooping lately from that trade. So it's like
Yeah.
um, that team. That's the kicker. We named 8 teams. We ain't even named the Warriors, who just sitting right there. Is like,
Yep.
and they've been playing good with Jimmy. I know it's not enough to really make some noise, but I mean, it's one
Might
of
sneak
those
in
two.
and do something.
Yeah, it's like one of those like if they get in the playoffs or they actually make the playoffs, like I can't count. It's like it's hard to count out Steph Curry in the playoff series.
Yeah. Know how to win.
So
Proven champion. Know how to win. Can't never count them out.
what if like the Warriors play like the Grizzlies in the first round? Would you be confident in the Grizzlies to get it done?
No.
If the
Not at all.
Warriors if the
Not at
Warriors
all.
played the Rockets in the first round, would you be as confident?
Not as confident.
Still be confident, but maybe not as confident. You'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, it's still Steph Curry. And they got Jimmy Butler. You know Jimmy Butler gonna bring it.
If if for whatever reason, like, what if the Lakers played the Warriors in the playoff series?
Hmm. I think that would be good. They got Jimmy. I mean, they got Jimmy Butler now. It's just Luka's a liability, man. It's just
I mean, Luke's a liability. LeBron to a certain degree is a liability. Austin
yeah,
Reeves is a liability. You
yeah.
got a perimeter full of liabilities out there.
I mean, LeBron can he'll sit down I mean, he'll sit down, in that chair and play defense, maybe a drive or two. I mean, a possession or two, but 40 years old,
Yeah.
you can't do that all game.
And then lastly,
And the way Melo had Luke on skates the other night, Lord Jesus.
dude, like when I was it last week or the week before? Like I was when I think whenever me and Brandon was on here last, we was talking about it, like yeah, like they can score points, but I mean you got 2.5 cones, maybe 3 cones out there on defense, like you can attack pretty much anybody you want to on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if that offense of the Lakers just gets stagnant? Like they're not coming back. Like if they get
Nope.
down 15, 20, you don't have the defense to come back. Because when you get down, as you know, it's one possession at a time.
Yep.
Like you gotta ask for Luka to have an out of body experience.
Yep.
Like it's not happening. Well, from you know historical data shows it's not happening with that.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. And then lastly, if the Warriors played the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round, are you as confident?
No, I mean, I would be confident that OKC would win, but it is going to be a tough series. I would think it would go 6 or 7 for sure. But would I be surprised if Steph Curry beat them? No.
That's the thing. They just find a groove.
Yep.
So yeah, the NBA, even though the product in, for the most part hasn't been great, but it's
In the playoffs, I will say that in the playoffs it does pick up. It picks up and then it makes you watch it. That's pretty much the only time I really sit and really sit down and pay attention to basketball these days. In the
yeah,
playoffs, it does. As much as we like to complain, or much as everybody complain, in the playoffs, it does give me that early 2000s feel. In the playoffs, I can't. Any other time, nah.
I'm with you there. I'm definitely tuning in playoff time, but till then, I'll be paying attention from a distance a little bit. Um, Switching gears here. I mean, it's February. You know, the sun is out longer these days. When I leave work, it's not complete darkness. When I get home, it's still kind of light outside. It's
Uh,
encouraging. And with that being said, it's baseball season. We're in spring training. We're pretty much there, and I know I was kind of leading this up, getting warm and fuzzies and encouraging and stuff, but White Sox. Dude, I literally boycotted them last year. I didn't watch a single game. I didn't listen to a single radio broadcast. I didn't watch a highlight. I didn't watch it because Jerry said he didn't care. So why should I, Jerry? Why should I? And it trickled over to the Bulls. Yeah, I pretty much boycott them because I went on a rant last week. Like, look, like you gonna make me pay money for an app to watch the Bulls, the Blackhawks, and the White Sox? You gonna make me pay money for that?
no way.
Come again? I'm not watching neither one of those three.
No way. They're gonna sing it to the grave early.
I
The
mean, money,
presser.
dude, money's tight to begin with already. You think I'm gonna spend my extra income on that? No,
Nah.
sir. Not gonna be able to do it. I can't do that.
Uh,
And and so, I mean, White Sox. I mean, look, I love my team, but I'll be the first one to tell you we're eliminated from the playoffs. We're not going to the postseason. We ain't getting one of those 7 spots. It ain't happening. Um, I mean, I think the wins over under total, I think it's like 50 and a half, somewhere in there. I would think they would get that.
yeah.
I don't know, but do you have any thoughts on the baseball season right now? You want to just leave it alone? Either way is fine with me.
Uh, no, just hopefully we get, hopefully we get better play from both teams. We are blessed to have, two teams, in one city. Um, and just hopefully we get better play.
I mean, the Cubs are they to my understanding they're favorites to win the division this year. I think they're I forgot what was their I think projected with 89 wins or 90 wins or something like that. My understanding, the Cardinals still not where they're supposed to be. Brewers definitely got worse, and then you got the Pirates and the Reds, who definitely not there. I mean, they
Yeah.
got a couple of exciting players like Skeens for the Pirates. He's definitely entertaining to watch, and then of course De La Cruz for the
Hmm.
Reds. He's definitely box office, but outside of that, they don't really have too much of an overall team. Cubs should win division. If they can't get it done, I'm coming for all you Cubs fans. You're gonna come join this couch of misery with us, but it's cool. Man. So yeah, I mean, and I am a little excited as a overall for the baseball season. Not for my White Sox, but just in general, just for baseball to be back.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what Juan Soto does with the Mets.
Mets. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see um, Shohei if he's going to be pitching this year. Curious to see if that takes place. See, the Dodgers are going to be locked and loaded once again. Can the Yankees getting that star-studded lineup get back? I mean,
They
I'm
get
just
to
curious.
they get to wear their beards now. I never really paid attention to that.
Yeah, yeah, they so used to. There was a whole thing for that was the standard. You had to clean shave.
I didn't realize that. And then I got to thinking to myself, like, really sit down and think about every Yankee player that you really paid attention to. He never had a beard. I'm like, that's insane. I never
Yeah,
paid that. No, I never paid that attention.
I mean, look at the remember the big unit. I think with the Diamondbacks, he had like a goatee or something like that.
Yeah.
And with the Yankees, nope,
Yeah.
all
No.
gone.
No. No. Like even Gary Sheffield. I think I got a picture with him as a kid at the club stadium. I think this was before. This is when he played with the Dodgers.
Mm.
Many years ago. I'm showing my age. But I know he played with the Yankees at one point. I was just like,
Yep.
man, yeah. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, I never noticed that. I'm like, that was the actual thing. I said I would have been pissed if I was grown. I had to cut my beard. But
But
maybe the money would have made me feel like, it's worth it.
yeah, dude, it's like so the money's worth it, and you go into the prestigious franchise that
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, that's a small sacrifice just to be wearing the pinstripes. It's like an honor to wear the pinstripes.
that's right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like you would think for the NFL it'd be the Cowboys, but
Yeah.
that brand is yeah, nah. But oh man, but all right. Do you want to get into the basement?
Yeah, we can get into the basement. Get into the basement.
All right. All right. Well, what you got for us? What you got for us?
So we do got the draft coming up. Um, what do you? Well, I got two questions. So,
All right.
who should go number one?
Oof.
That would be the first question.
Oof. He said, "Who should?" I mean, you worded it, who should go number one. Now, who's going to be selected number one? But who
Yeah,
should go
yeah,
number
yeah.
one?
Who should go number one? Because
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now. I don't know. If a certain trade is gonna happen. It's kind of up in the air right now.
It is because the Titans got the number one pick, and the Titans have so many needs, and the Titans have, you have heard, rumblings of them possibly, pick open for
Trading down.
sale. Yeah. Um, so I mean, we feel like they need a quarterback, but I think the owner went out and openly said we want a generational talent. So, and at first I thought that would be what's his name, Travis Hunter,
Hmm.
but I think that's going to be that Abdul Carter guy. But who should go number one? Look, I'm as big a fan of Shadur Sanders as anybody. I am, I am, and in my opinion, maybe he should be number one pick.
Mm.
But if, but I'm on the thing that let Cam Ward be the number one pick. If they go on quarterback, let Cam Ward be the number one pick. Because good luck
Yeah.
in that situation, bro.
Uh, I did hear that he said, because I heard Cam Newton talking about it recently. they hear the Titans said that they wanted a player in the blue. I mean, that's a can't miss player.
Hmm.
My can't miss player is Travis Hunter, but like you said, they do need a quarterback, and I do feel like Cam Ward and Shador is neck and neck, but I do know that everyone does like the kid from Penn State, the Abdul Carter guy. So
Yeah, saying he's like Micah Parsons 2.0,
yeah, right.
and they
So
went to the same school.
oh, run same school, same number and all. The number 11 is from Penn State. Uh, I don't know. As of right now, depending on what the Titans are going to do, I really don't know who's going to go number one.
Yeah,
I
if they still keep
really
the
don't.
pick.
Right. That that's the thing too. If they keep the pick, or it's rumblings that New York want to trade. They want to trade up. If the Raiders want to trade up, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be exciting. We got the combine coming up
Next week.
next week. Yep, next week. So it's going to get interesting.
Speaking of combine, I kid you not, we're gonna go to the combine. We
Yeah, is that because it's free now? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's free. You just register, get the free tickets. I mean, it's literally a drive on I-65. It's
Yeah,
2 hours
yeah,
away.
it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
We are going
Yeah,
to go within the next 3 years.
yeah,
I
yeah,
kid you
yeah,
not, we're
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely enjoy that. I would definitely enjoy that. Yeah, I think we should go. It's nothing to drive down now. I do it all the time. Nothing to drive down now, which is crazy. When did they start that last year? I believe.
What, for it to be free?
Yeah, for the combine.
I think either last year or the year before, because when I
Cause
was looking into it then, I'm like, oh, this is free.
yeah, cause that wasn't in our era. That wasn't a thing. Nobody was not unless you
No,
was invited
right.
or
Yeah, you
you
had to
were
be like a
personnel.
media. Yeah, like for real. So, I mean, but that's the NFL, $1 billion industry,
That
finding a way
shit,
to stay relevant and making money.
man. Yeah, keep the fans involved, which is cool. Which is cool. That's cool for a lot of people to experience. I would definitely love to experience that. Even with the draft as well.
The
You know,
fact that you went to the draft, that was dope.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was like I think probably like one of the biggest turnouts in Detroit. You wouldn't have
oh
thought.
yeah, I heard it was like wasn't it like 1 million people out there?
Yeah, they had to close it off. Yeah,
Jeez, I mean,
that was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, to be honest, I don't. Man, that's why I just been kind of like paying attention from afar. Like I don't know who's gonna go number one. It's crazy because I do feel like eventually I do feel like they're gonna trade. I feel like they're gonna trade that pick maybe down to like to like the Giants or the Raiders or to like 3 or 5 or something or somebody that we're not talking about that really wants one of those guys. So
yeah,
mm,
it's I do feel that way too because they have a lot of needs and
yeah,
it only makes sense for them, especially if they feel like they don't necessarily want to take a quarterback
yeah,
at one, and they want to
and they
give
feel
Will
like
Levis another chance, one more year, and wait for
they feel
maybe
like they
Arch
don't
Manning.
want right or they feel like they don't want Travis or the kid from Penn State because they need a they need a player. They need a generational talent, which is there, but they need somebody. They need to sell some jerseys, put some asses in the seats, and they need. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, they do need a superstar. So
Hey, I mean, they do. So here's the thing. Here's the top 10 picks real quick. So Tennessee's at one, Cleveland at two.
so
Now Cleveland is a wild card to me as well. I mean, the quarterback situation is up in the air. I don't know what.
I think Deshaun Days are very numbered,
Yeah, I
but the
think
only thing is the contract.
exactly. And then Miles Garrett asking for a trade. So I don't know exactly what the Cleveland Browns going to look like when September 1st comes around. I don't know.
And Denzel Ward has already stated that he is not going to be very happy camper if they let go Miles Garrett.
Heck yeah. I feel like any true football fan knows like the defensive backs play as well as anyone if the pass rush is there.
hmm So that could be a big that could be a big thing too with with Travis. Even if Tennessee takes a quarterback, or even if the pick get traded, that could be Travis landing spot right there.
Could be. And then so you got the Giants at 3. I mean, they're taking a quarterback.
Yeah, they're taking
That
a quarterback.
New England at 4. They're not taking a quarterback.
Uh,
Jacksonville at 5. They're not taking a quarterback. The Raiders at 6. They need a quarterback. Here's the
they
team that
might
we didn't.
trade up.
They might trade up, which I can see it happening. But the team at number 7, we didn't mention this team, but I think they possibly could enter the discussion. The New York Jets at 7.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel like the Jets are kind of scared to take a quarterback that early again.
But who do you have
But they
now?
could, but they could enter the chat though. I don't know what they would trade or who they would trade.
But
They got some pieces though, but I think they would like to keep that young nucleus together.
I would think so too. But just keep that team in mind. Carolina at 8. I mean, I'm glad
They sticking with
Bryce.
Bryce.
Yeah, I'm glad he's been playing well. Uh, Wild card team at number 9, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and then the Chicago Bears at 10. Um, Outside of that, I mean, there's nobody else that's really trading up for a quarterback unless you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, within that top 10, you
yeah.
definitely have about 4 teams that's probably jockeying for 2 quarterbacks. So that's going to be interesting. Um, all right, you still got a second question?
Um, what should the Bears take at 10?
Heck, you could have a whole Tuesday night segment on that one. So it's gonna vary. It varies. So mentioned mentioned earlier. I don't know if we was live or not, but so the Bears released Gerald Everett and DeMarcus Walker. They freed up 10 more million cap space, so they have about 74 million cap space. NFL announced that the salary cap is going up by about $26 million, which is
Mm,
insane. Um, Here's the thing: Bears have a lot of needs, a lot.
yeah.
So I feel like it depends what they do in free agency first. So they somehow do pry away Trey Smith from uh, the Chiefs.
Mm,
Um, that would help out quite a bit, or go get another edge rush in free agency or via trade or whatever. I mean, it all depends. But the one thing I do not want them to do in that draft, in that number 10 pick, if they still have the pick, do not draft Ashton Genty. Don't do
I
it.
knew you was gonna say that.
Do not. And I love him as a running back, but that's not what we need. We need
Nah.
foundational pieces in that trenches. We really do.
Yep. But you know what though, with the Bears, they have taken offensive linemen that early, and they never fucking work out. I just feel like, I just feel like they jinked. We just took
Darnell,
Darrell Wright. Yeah,
yeah,
Darrell
Darrell
Wright.
Wright.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
What
I
was
feel
that?
like
Like two,
he's
3 years ago? I
so
feel like
it's
he's okay. I feel like he's decent.
no, but the problem is with that is in comparison to who they could have had, which was Jalen Carter, and we just saw how that transpired. So that's why it
Yeah.
makes it look so bad.
But do but on the flip side of that, let's say we get Jalen Carter. Do you think Jalen Carter looks like he looks in Chicago,
Nope,
like he does in Philly? And
not
that's
even.
the and that's and that's the thing. It'd be like, because I was saying that when I was watching Super Bowl, I said, God damn it. I said, look at he's out here dominating this game, bro. Patty don't even want to see him.
Oh
But
man.
then I say to myself, then I say, well, if he was in Chicago, bro, he wouldn't even look like that, bro.
I mean, so we know the front four. If you have a front four that is dominant across the board at every time, it makes the whole defense all the way around excellent. It just does. Like that
Yeah.
front four if Philly got after, they didn't even blitz Mahomes. They got after him every single time. And so maybe, um, maybe him and Sweat could have did something together. Sweat would have still came over. I don't know, but
Yeah,
nevertheless,
I think
but
he would have been pretty good, but to I don't know to look like that's tough.
but but yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to close us out here real quick because things are transpiring in this household. All right, and um, so with that being said, on behalf of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we would like to thank you for tuning in with us this morning. Continue to chop it up with us and support our podcast on various platforms. And if you and would love to talk sports with us on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we are here and would love for you to do so. Your love and support is truly appreciated. And we hope you all have a blessed and safe weekend.